Welcome to our Rolemaster actual play session. Twilight of the Old Order and Ain't No Place for a Hero are two campaigns currently co-joined, set in the world of Duranarki, the continent of men. In this gritty, cutthroat world, politics, religion, and commerce are all intertwined and reign supreme. Characters need to be both smart and ruthless to survive. We hope you enjoy our story, and, as always, may the dice roll in your favor. This is episode 118 of Twilight of the Old Order, and episode 95 of Ain't No Place for a Hero. The two parties have been reunited and are now neck deep in the middle of a dangerous mission on a forgotten, dismal island. We pick up the story at the end of a brutal ambush by the party, whose attention is now turning to the person they took captive and the former prisoner they freed from those they have just slain. Hello, I'm Chris, otherwise known as GM Chance, and welcome to our story, or rather stories, because tonight we're telling two tales. Twilight of the Old Order is one campaign that has been joined by the team from the Ain't No Place for a Hero campaign. This is the second, or probably actually, in actuality, the third time the two groups of 6 characters have got together. And yes, indeed, there are 12 characters you can see on screen, the usual 12, but we have been joined by another, Tarquin, who joined the group last week. So, as mentioned, I'm your storyteller, your GM, your tale spinner tonight. I am blushing because of a compliment that I just got just before clicking the camera, and just as well I'm on black and white. So I'm going to compose myself in a second by asking in a second each one of the players that are playing a character or characters that they are playing tonight. And just before I do, a shout out to the team, because we have one person away. So Graham wasn't able to join us last session. Again, this session, Graham has 4 characters, 2 in each game, and various people across the two teams are picking up Graham's characters. So my sincere thanks for doing that. Very quickly, two quick points from myself. Just thank you very much indeed to our supporters. Getting some nice comments. Just got a couple of really nice things on Facebook recently. Someone just commenting that they really enjoy the show and they enjoy the story that we're telling. So thank you. And our numbers keep going up. What I'd say to you is, if you're enjoying what you're watching, if we make you laugh, if we make you think, hopefully, and you're just enjoying the story, we'd really appreciate a click down below, either a like, or even better, a subscribe. Thanks. Other thing I was going to say, for people who maybe are watching for the first time, both these games have been going on for quite some time. Twilight has been going longer than the Hero game. And if you're interested in... and we only started recording both these games comparatively recently, about 8 or 9 months ago, but they'll be going for a number of years. If you want to get a sense of the main stories of what's been happening previously, there are some links down below, and they will take you to both an overview video of both games, very short, only 5 minutes, and then again for each campaign, a very short PowerPoint document with lots of pictures and a pretty minimal text, but will also take you through a bit more about what's the story, who the characters are, and that kind of thing. So if you're enjoying what you're seeing and hearing, but want to learn a bit more, check out the links below. Okay, enough from me. It is now time to hear from the heroes, the stars of the show, players that are playing these characters. And I'm going to call on Mason this evening to take it away.
Thanks, Chris. Kia ora, I'm Mason. I play Demos. So he's a big, burly beefcake. Great with his spear and shield. not very smart, but I think he makes up for that in heart. Very kind. Basically, a big teddy bear that might stab you.
Big teddy bear that might stab you. Love it.
That's genius.
So his question: have you ever taken a life before you joined the campaign, and why?
Yep.
Yes, he has, but it was prior to being with the campaign. He used to protect the princess, so that meant eliminating any threats to sort of her or any of her family. So he has taken lives in the past, but they've been, in his mind at least, justified killings. Yes. So I will throw over to Jada.
Hi. Jada.
We have Stara playing Jada too.
Hiya, me, Sarah, playing Jada. Screen's all a bit blurry. Here we go. She is a very tall Arab-looking woman. Fights with a quarterstaff. She's raised in a monastery. So she's raised very religious. She's very quiet. Wears full body robes, including her face. And she's a bit judgy. Question she's going to answer. It's written down somewhere here. Okay, what does honor mean to Jada? She was raised so religious. She's not supposed to do any immoral behavior. She's supposed to be modest and keep her headscarf on and be quiet around men. She's not always good at that. She looks to be well respected, so she wants to open a hospital, and that's part of like honoring her family honor. Not family, whatever you call it. Honoring her family.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of her honor. Thanks.
Cool. Lovely. Thank you. Thank you very much. Who would you like to hear from?
Can I pass on to Aiden Gray?
Aiden, sure thing.
Hello, I'm Aiden, and I'm playing Gray. He's a very handsome half-elf who is a beastmaster, which gives him some kind of control over animals and the ability to talk to them. He's also got a couple other interesting little magic tricks that he can do. He's got a bit of a tragic backstory, but it hasn't stopped him from becoming quite a sweet kind of slightly bumbly character sometimes. But he's a very dependable kind of guy. But his question: has he ever taken a life before he joined the campaign? Sorry, and why? And he's definitely taken a life before. He had a pretty rough upbringing with pretty much everyone he ever loved being brutally murdered. So yeah, he's had to make his way through. I think he was raised in the wild, kind of by himself for a lot of his childhood until he met someone who kind of helped him out, and then that person was also brutally murdered. I think he probably would have tried to do some investigating into what happened, and he would have probably taken life and on his journeys trying to come to an understanding of why things transpired.
And he has learned a little bit out about the person that killed him, as his
Yes.
master as well. Something to do with the dart and some of the blue skins from down south. So yeah, he has made some progress there.
Yep. But there's a little bit of bloodshed getting that information. So he's definitely he's got his hands dirty before. I'm also playing tonight for Graham one of his characters, Severin. Severin is a very noble soldier swordsman. He's a Northman. He's a dab hand with a sword, and he's exceptionally strong, especially when he uses his adrenal strength. He's not magical, but he's got a few little interesting magical items that he can use to kind of aid him. And for his question, had he taken life before he joined the campaign? Yes. I think he's been on quite a few campaigns. He's quite a seasoned pro. I would say that he probably would have maybe come across a few bad guys in his time and had to deal out some very virtuous punishment.
Ooh, okay. And of course, he worked for a relatively short time, but certainly some time. He and Askell had served in the same mercenary company as well.
Yes, that's true.
Cool.
Dark times.
Dark times.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Well, I'd love to hear from Askell, actually.
There you go.
Fine. Nice little segue. So, kia ora everyone. I'm playing Askelion, or Askell for short. He's a tall half-elf warrior mage, and he comes from the port city of Shabibi. And his favourite weapon is his recently acquired ornate cutlass. His question: have you ever taken a life before you joined this campaign, and why? Yes. Yes, he has. He obviously has noted he works with Severin as a mercenary, so a few jobs here and there. But I guess interestingly, what came to light probably in the last week and a half of game time, a few sessions ago, was his connection to his mistress and the need to punish the stupid. Yes, he has, and he's had to do it for meeting a toll, so to speak. And not always, but he's had to do that. But definitely in his times as a mercenary as well. So he's had to take a life.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Who next?
And also tonight, I'm playing Tanya on behalf of Graham. And she's a beautiful, but yet fiery, and at times stubborn elf. She's absolutely terrifically dangerous with her bow. And not to be snorted at by any means. And the question for her was, what do you value more, wealth, power, love? For Tanya, was love. She valued the love of her lost father. So she's still hurting from that, because that was also recently very recent enough in game time anyway.
A couple of months, 2 or 3 months back, and it was actually the other party, the hero party, that were imprisoned on the same ship and being tortured at the same time that her father was.
Yeah.
That was one of the links. Yeah, cool. Who's next? Who's next?
I can go next, Chris. So I'm playing Kura Tato Ko Giles Newtonhouse Tikawinga. I'm playing two characters. So the first is a character that's Graham's, Etienne Gilderflower. He is a paladin knight, a half elf. He is a beautiful, beautiful man, dressed in equally beautiful armor, carrying an equally beautiful and magical broadsword. His god, or in this case goddess, is Aphrodite. And the obvious question Etienne wants to answer is, what do you honor more, wealth, power, or love? So for Etienne, this is a non-question. The most important thing is love. The next most important thing is love. And after that comes love. Love, 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 like the songs say.
Like the songs say.
And wealth and power is useful only if it brings love.
There you go.
That's Etienne. The other character I'm playing tonight is Tarquin. So Tarquin's also a half elf. And Tarquin clearly knows Etienne, although it's very new to both the game and the group. Clearly knows Etienne and has expressed the view he has a nickname for him called Tin Can, a name that could only be used for someone who knows him reasonably well. Like Etienne, he's also ridiculously good looking, although does not wear the full paladin armor. And so I guess people are starting to learn about him. And I guess the question for Etienne to answer, Tarquin to answer, is what does honour mean to you? And I think for Tarquin, the question of honour is about being true to himself and being true to the people whom he is responsible for and cares about.
Cool.
And that's Tarquin.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
And I
Yeah, sorry.
think we've got one to go.
Yes, I think
Who's
so.
left? Oh, but I can't remember because is it Carius?
Me.
I think we haven't heard from Carius. Oh, who Tarquin has spent a lot of time working hard to charm.
Kia ora koutou katoa. I'm Alex. I play Keros and Victory, of course, the very important cat. Keros is a magician. She's a weather mage, North woman. She's pretty good with her ice magic, ice bolts, ice walls, ice balls, ice anything, ice latte. I don't know. We haven't got there yet. She does use a bow and a sword, and is getting better at it because she runs out of PowerPoints. Because she gets very excited. She's emotionally labile. She's very sweet. She wears a heart on her sleeve. Easily led. Some may say naive. She's getting a bit tougher and a bit more strategic as the campaign goes on. She's learning quickly. Really good questions. Want to answer them all, but I'm going to go with one I answered off screen, which is, have you ever taken a life before you joined the campaign? And I think this will feed into perhaps a little exploration in the new year when her owner has some brain cells grown back. That she has never, that's not her way. She's not malicious. She's not a warrior. She's, she's very much a socialist person. However, she was in the Cloud Club, and she always wanted to be the best and be the smartest.
What's
and
the Cloud Club?
The Cloud Club was from her boarding school, and it was the elite crew. So I think like Gossip Girl, mixed in with Gilmore Girls, kind of preppy girls' boarding school, very cliquey, and she's there in her op shop Miss Buttons kind of outfit. She's just slightly off, but she always wanted to be one of those girls. She worked really hard. Knowledge at that stage didn't come naturally to her, but she did get kicked out of the Cloud Club because of her inability to control her magic, and she may have maimed one or two, perhaps deliberately. We don't know, but we might find out in the new year. So maybe there is something lurking.
And for a time, she had a residual thing left over from that, where she had a little whispling, a little kind of ball of energy that would kind of waft along. The whispling's kind of faded as time has gone on, but that was like the whatever happened in the Cloud Club was serious enough that it has had this thing hanging around her for a long time.
Yeah, and I do wonder if that's kind of projected. So as she grows and becomes more herself,
there you go.
She's not needing like the support whispling.
Go.
But who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Marvelous. I love all of this game. This is our hobby. We do it for fun, but I always enjoy, as the GM, this particular segment, because I always learn more about the players and the characters that you see on screen. Well,
did we do Pete?
Oh, yeah.
did we?
Shall I go?
Oh, I thought we did, Pete. Sorry.
No.
Go for it, Pete. Yes, sorry.
Cool. No, sorry. Kia ora, I'm Pete, and I'll be playing 4 characters tonight. The first of which is Leif.
Sorry, Pete.
No, not at all. There's so many characters.
There are a lot.
And a lot of players too. Yeah. So Leif is a really friendly fellow. He's a half-elf as well. He's a warrior mage, so he likes sword play as well as magic. He's just a quiet and friendly and genuine sort of guy. The question to answer for him is, what does he value more, wealth, power, or love? Definitely love. Doesn't have much time for either of the others. He was brought up in a very loving family, had a really a long, stable life. The rest of his family were human, and so he's now adventuring because the rest of his family have all died. So he outlived them, being half elven, which was very sad for him for a while. But it's instilled in him great love for all people that he meets, pretty much.
Cool.
The next character I'll be playing tonight is Mythan. She is a North woman. She is a ranger, so she's good in the outdoors. She's good with her bow, and also has a smattering of healing to her name. Mm-hmm. She's not a very friendly person. She's had a traumatic childhood, but she's just not she's not a people person. Doesn't really get people or care about people or their emotions particularly. She's not in touch with her own emotions.
Yep.
Particularly. Same question. What does she value more, wealth, power, or love? Definitely power, and specifically her being powerful enough or having the power over her own life to protect herself and keep herself safe. She's, as I say, been through trauma and been helpless any number of times, and it's just one of her goals in life is to never be that way again. So she wants to be powerful enough to do that.
Cool.
The next character I'll be playing tonight is Neathanel, and this is one of Graham's characters. Neathanel is a high elf. She is a magent, which is a mixture of arms, magic, and sneakiness. She's a complex character, lot going on behind the scenes, quite intense religiously and intense beliefs, but on the surface of things is engaging enough and gets on with people. The question for Neathanel is, have you ever taken a life before you joined the campaign, and why? Well, Neathanel's favourite way of attacking is from behind, by ambush, by surprise. She's very good at it, and she got those skills somewhere.
Enough said.
Yes, and she may have made money from obtaining those skills. The last character we play tonight is Nicholas, and he is from the Twilight of the Old Order campaign. He is a common man. He is Mentat, which is a sort of a variant on a mentalist spell user. He's quite unassuming and sort of academic. Perfectly normal little fellow. Question for him is, have you ever taken a life before you joined the campaign, and why? And absolutely not. He would not want to dirty his hands with blood.
Yep.
He's not interested in violence. No, he's not interested necessarily in doing violence to people. If inadvertently he caused people to take their own lives, or perhaps made them take their own lives, well, that's just perhaps it was part of his research.
Got it. Excellent. Thank you. Excellent. And sincere apologies, Pete, for missing you out. Yes, there are quite a collection. For viewers' benefits and for players' benefits, the intention is, depending what happens, of course, but the intention is that, as previously, the parties will go their separate ways in due course, probably potentially sooner rather than later, depending on what happens. But yes, the numbers will decrease down to a more manageable 6 in the Twilight party and 7 in the Great. So thank you. Well introduced, one and all. Pete, in the interest of time, we'll zip through a very quick overview. Really appreciate you doing that. I have actually got a few quick images up as well, so depending on what you say, I may be able to pop some images up on screen to match what you're talking. Go for it.
Excellent. Well, thank you for the first image. Is Jewel Island. So we're here on Jewel Island to intercept a shipment of arms from Tikos. They're being picked up in game time tomorrow by the Tikos ships. We're not sure exactly where, but our mission is to stop that from happening. We are doing this for an organisation, the Mon-Men, the reason we're doing this is we want their favour. We want them to resource us on furthering our quests to stop the end of the world. Where we ended last time was on the slopes of the hill just above Big Head Hill. So you can see we had just gone to the end of the day when we realised that we're being followed. We had had our battle the session before, and we started that session just at the end of our fight with a group of who we're assuming are these Tikos agents, because they're not dressed as the other people found on the island, the Roldenic people. So these guys are not dressed in any sort of religious uniforms. They're dressed as mercenaries-ish, We ended the fight with 2 asleep one running away, counting my fingers, 2 asleep, 1 running away, and 2, 1 dead must be,
All dead.
and 2 fairly injured.
All dead bar 1, Pete.
Yes. Oh, well, so that's where we started the fight.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Sorry. 1 running away, 2 injured, and 2 asleep. There were, and the prisoner had run off. We decided it was courtesy. It was sort of compassionate to end the sleeping one's lives. Better to do it while they were asleep. So kind of us, I think. And one of the other fighters was just sort of, oh, that's right, and so yeah. Gray ran after the fleeing archer. Unfortunately, wasn't able to catch him, so Gray has since come back, but we'll have to keep an eye on that situation. Askell killed the remaining Axeman. Well done, Askell. Fantastic to get that guy down. We were left with 1 survivor. One of the archers who was fairly well wounded, and I think that Severin and Mithan started questioning him. During this, there was some wonderful chatting and charming going on up on the hill, where Tarquin was talking with Tanya and Keros, who I believe both were rather, even despite poor rolling, both were very charmed by him in the end, I believe. Keros was rather cute. Keros being slightly anxious of this newcomer would make small steps forward, but yeah, definitely. Oh yes, the tumbling attack. Thank you. Yes, but so yes, Keros and Tanya sort of probably a bit enamoured of Tarquin. Yes, sorry, I forgot to mention that wonderful tumbling attack by Askell to finish off the Axeman. That was excellent. So we ended our fight, all sort of gathered round, apart from people who were guarding the prisoner, chatting to Tarquin and Tarquin and sort of hearing his story. Did you want to cover that, Giles? Have we talk about what he told us, I guess?
Yep, I can do that. So basically, Tarquin talked to the group, explained that he had come to Jewel Island following difficulties at home, that he was tracking a group of people and had heard about a group of mercenaries, people who were interested in this thing called the Rite of Uzza that he was interested in, and so had come to the island to find them. He'd subsequently been ambushed and caught, and was very relieved to have been rescued. He expressed some surprise in the fact he knew Etienne and clearly knew him well, and Etienne vouched for him to the group. Although a few members of the group expressed the probable reality that in asking Tarquin about himself, he was pretty superficial in talking about where he'd come from and what he knew. And that's kind of where we ended up.
Cool. Fantastic. Very good. Any kind of qualifying questions? Anything missed? Anything we need to touch on? Once. Going twice. Well, start the game. So, Pete, your recap was basically flawless, except for a couple of very minor points. It's now gone on.
Right.
You had the combat or the ambush that you guys launched on these people was just going on for dusk. It is now night, and there have been some distant sounds of thunder, and you've been noticing that the clouds have been approaching, and very, very shortly after the fight had finished and you've dragged bodies into the trees, yes indeed, the heavens have opened up. And it is absolutely bucketing. Like it is just, it's pouring down. There's basically no respite. And with quite regular thunder as well. That's where we start the game. You've gone back into this group of trees. The fight, you'll recall, took place out here. The bodies are gone. I won't move them, but you've dragged the bodies inside. Switch my thunder down a little bit. That's quite loud. There we go. That's a bit better. Yeah. I'm not going to move counters, but you've taken the prisoner kind of out of earshot and is being guarded by both Mithan and Severin, guarded at this stage. And currently, all the characters, kind of very early evening, are huddling round together, having a conversation in the pouring rain. Do you want to have a chat and decide what you want to do, please?
I think Nicholas wants to go. I think it's important that we go and question the prisoner, really, because we need to get a sense of who they are, and where they are, and if we're under threat from that archer running off, and get a sense for ourselves. I think.
So just before we do that, Chris, can I ask you one or two questions?
Yeah, sure.
So can I ask, in the day or so Tarquin has spent with the crew who kidnapped him, I presume he understands the language they speak?
Yeah. So, sorry. Thank you. I meant to jump in there. He's only just been kidnapped, so he's only been with them for half a day. And the entire time that the one thing, and I think I mentioned this in the write up that I gave you, Tarquin. His captors have been extremely disciplined.
Yep.
They haven't spoken in front of, or if they have, it's been in whispers, and he hasn't been able to hear. So he doesn't know what language they speak. They haven't communicated anything to him. It's all been in basically sign language. They've been keeping a really low profile. They haven't asked him any questions at all. All they did was just simply relieve him of his gear, which he now has back. But he's only been with them a matter of half a day, so he got caught around midday.
Okay. The second question I have is Tarquin clear about who the leader is and where the person who's been caught kind of falls in the hierarchy of the people who have been captured?
Sure. Tarquin would have said that this man here was the leader. This man here, I believe, has Demos's spear through his head. He's not very talkative.
That does somewhat reduce your capacity to talk. And so I think what I'd say to Laith and the crowd is I've been with the crew for this crew who captured me unawares for half a day. I don't know what language they speak. I do, however, wonder if they are not in fact Tikos, but belong to a group of mercenaries called the Bitter Order, and I'd ask the group if they know anything about the Bitter Order, what languages they speak and who they are.
I don't know that my characters know anything about them.
Yeah, I'm not sure about mine either.
Okay, that's fine.
Never heard of them?
And I just checked that they've never heard of a man called El Hasib, who I understand is their leader.
Doesn't ring any bells.
Does it
for our characters?
Nope.
Nope.
You can give me a memory roll if you want.
Yeah, Nicholas will.
Sure. Give me a roll. Anything over 51 is a success.
Yep. 83.
No, Nicholas doesn't recall the name.
Esco will probably do it as well, seeing
Yeah.
Al had the... One moment. He rolled a 6, so he's feeling a bit dull.
Nope.
Severin would probably also want to scan his memories. He's rolled a 3, so he definitely doesn't remember. He's got a bit of a sore throat as well.
I guess Etienne would too, but so remind me, how do I do this?
Sure. Exclamation mark.
Exclamation mark.
R.
What is it? Yep.
Space.
D100.
You got it. All lowercase.
So Etienne rolls a 19.
No.
Okay, so at this point, I think what Tarquin would say to the group is, I don't know who these people are, but they caught me unawares, and that's unusual. I tracked you here because in my past, a group called the Bitter Order attacked my important people, and a combination of that and this thing, the Rite of Aza, has brought me here. I have the ability to talk to people, and maybe I can persuade him to talk to me. So if you want to interrogate him, fine, but I might be able to sneak information out of him, particularly if he mistakes me for one of his friends whom he think has escaped. And I'm going to ask the group if they want me to have a go, or if they just want to interrogate him.
I think several would be interested in having a go as long as he's closely watched.
Yeah, happy to. Yep. Nicholas will just point out that he can make him talk.
Has Nicholas got a spell or capacity to extract information?
He can make him obey his commands.
Well, that seems easier. So,
But I think Nicholas would be interested to see Tarquin at work, so he would definitely defer and say, "Oh, yeah, that sounds like a good idea." So happy for him to go first. Yeah.
so I think if Tarquin heard that he could make him talk, Tarquin would lay off and say, "Do that." Because what I'm going to do is try and persuade him to talk. So if you can just make him talk and time is short, do that. That makes more sense.
Okay. If everyone's happy with
Jada mentioned about trying to hypnotise him as well last week, just at the
Oh, yes.
Yep.
She wants to have a crack at that.
I reckon give that a go too. Yeah.
I might not be that good at it yet, so if we really want to get information, we should probably just get it, and I'll practice maybe after.
But you've hypnotised a whole barn full of chickens. You can do it.
Go on, give it a go.
Yeah, it's worth a roll.
Oh, what does the hypnotism do?
I don't know.
As long as it doesn't put him to sleep or make him go crazy, we still want to be able to talk.
It's just a skill. I don't know what will happen.
Can we read it back? Hypnosis is a presence in self-discipline. It's a static action. It's a bonus for placing a willing individual into a trance where they are responsive to suggestions. So I think that was what we found last week. An unwilling individual's natural resistance roll is doubled.
Damn.
Okay, so if Jada is good at doing that, I would say to Jada, if you can hypnotise him, I can cast a spell that will make me look like the group's leader. So if you can hypnotise him, I can make myself look like the group's leader and pump him for questions that he might then answer.
Oh, sounds like only the willing though. So if he wanted to give up smoking or something, but maybe not give us all his secrets.
But he might be willing to talk to the leader of his group.
Maybe. Might not need hypnotising.
So I can cast a spell that makes me look like
Yeah, try it out.
the
and if it
leader
doesn't
of his
work,
group.
try and talk him into it.
Yeah. Or we can just strong arm him.
I like the hypnotising and the little spell. I reckon that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think give that a go. Yep.
Yeah.
Give it a go. Roll some dice.
Yep.
What can go wrong?
Apart from everything.
When has
Did you
it
hear
ever
that
gone
little
wrong?
laugh somewhere in the ether?
You didn't hear a laugh. No such thing exists. All right, so give me some narrative, guys. What happens?
Okay, so I think what we've agreed is that the group are gonna keep an eye on me and keep an eye on everyone. Jada is gonna go and try and hypnotise him. While Jada's doing that, I'll prepare a spell. And the spell I'm gonna prepare is face shifting. And then if the hypnotism is successful, I will then go and talk to him, obviously asking Keros for her blessing to make sure this works. Using all of my charm to do that.
Excellent. Okay. I would just point out that it is absolutely pouring with rain, and you're completely and utterly soaked to the skin. Not sure if you've got any plans around that or not, but just to highlight. Or
Is there any kind of shelter? I guess we just kind of huddle under the trees and try and get some shelter, right?
kind of your options.
But Chris, can I ask,
Yep.
and I guess this is important, from a spell perspective, the very fact it's pouring, I think, works in our favour massively, because what the enemy or our captive will see is his companion or his leader, but what he's not going to see is the bits that look slightly wrong, because it's just going to be too rainy. So particularly if he's hypnotised, I think this is a really good... I don't think I would have suggested this if the conditions were beautiful.
All right.
Because they're well disciplined. So I think this works in our favour, although I agree others might want to hide. But within earshot, obviously, I want everyone to hear what we say.
All right. Okay, cool. So I've got a bit of a narrative. I'm just to move things on a bit, guys. I'm gonna jump in and talk it through. If I speak out of turn or if I do something you don't like, let me know. Some people with good eyesight go on watch, keeping an eye out. There you do see very far in the distance some lights. Far off, you would say to the west. You think your guess would be quite some distance off. A long way away from, well, a relatively long way away from where you are. That's one thing that you didn't really notice when you first got here, but now that it's a bit darker and peering out into the gloom, yeah, you very far in the distance, there's some lights. Some of you take shelter under as much shelter as you can under the trees. A number of you are taking shelter are going, why am I adventurer again? Poor Victory, the cat, is miserable. Her fluff is saturated. She's quite a miserable cat, to be honest, and she's howling quite a bit. She's really not happy. Ningwin the hawk is also pretty fed up with the whole thing and is kind of huddling down next to Grey, kind of desperate to try to find some some shelter. It's a really pretty miserable existence, and for a few characters, perhaps you do pause and do question some life choices amongst yourselves. Those that are speaking together do so well and truly out of earshot of your prisoner. Severin and Mithan drag your prisoner back into what passes for some cover. You know, you manage to find some space under some trees. It's not exactly dry. It's dripping. This guy is the person that you have captured. He has got one of, I think it was one of Mithan's arrows sticking out of his leg. He is in a lot of pain. Every movement he takes is through clenched teeth. He's clearly made of pretty stern stuff, because even though he's in pain and you see him wince with every movement, he doesn't cry out, he doesn't scream, he just remains stoic. About the only other reaction you get from him is just this stare of utter malice, of utter hatred, of this man despises you. Doesn't say anything, he just stares at you, and his eyes just bore into you. He loathes you. He's sat down, and he's definitely well guarded. You've tied his hands behind his back. You've taken precautions. To be honest, with that arrow in his leg, he's not bleeding much, as I mentioned last time. He appears to be stable. He's quite pale. He's lost a lot of blood, but he's not bleeding anymore. Jada, your assessment of him is, he's not about to die anytime soon, but he's clearly not in great shape. Jada, you're first, so standing around him, let's say Severin and Mithan with weapons trained on him, plus the fact he's tied up. Jada, you're first up to try something. You're standing or sitting in front of him. What do you do?
Okay, so I'm going to try and convince him that I can help him with his wound because I'm a healer, and how I do that is through hypnotism.
Okay.
So I'll put my hand on the wound and just ask him if he's okay being hypnotized to help with his bleeding.
What language are you speaking?
I'm speaking his language. What does he speak?
He hasn't said anything yet.
Oh, no. Okay, so I'll try and talk to him and see what comes out.
What languages do you try?
Let's see. What does the enemy speak? Do we know?
Thebronic or South Tongue, I think. Could try one of them.
What does Tikos
Ooh.
speak? Because they must have communicated
yeah.
with Tikos.
I'm really good at South Tongue. I'll try
that.
South Tongue.
Okay, what do you say?
Just, can you understand me?
He's just got this
You want to?
evil stare, just staring straight at you. He doesn't. seem
Okay,
to-
so I'll try Thebronic. Well, I don't speak it well, but just can I help? Can I help you? Do you understand me?
No reaction.
Alborinian,
Nothing.
same thing. Westron,
Ditto.
Cast a spell.
Haradanian.
Hypnotise them first.
Yeah. Haradanian, Gondia.
Nothing. Oh, he just kind of spits.
If you understand.
He spits on Jada.
Okay, what else have I got? So I'll try hand signals. Just can I help him with his leg?
There's no reaction from other than him
Okay.
spitting on you.
So he might just be pretending.
Ray Severin would like to kind of give him a little kick for his rudeness.
Okay.
Doesn't Eskel have some translation things?
So as Severin kicks him, are you aiming anywhere in particular when you kick him, Severin?
Not in his wound, but close enough to the wound that it's going to hurt.
Okay. You see him wince in pain, and he actually, his teeth come down and bite through his lip. He's now bleeding slightly from his lip. That really hurt. But he didn't scream. He didn't yell. He's tough.
So Jada, you're asking about Eskel having a translator thing. It's Severin who's got the Babel fish.
Ah, yes, he does have a wee fish.
Ah.
So
What do your earrings do?
I think at this point, Tarquin would suggest to the group that he's not going to buckle with seduction. So what we need to do is bullhorn him. So if someone has a spell that can make him speak the truth, we should use it. And I've got lots of lie perception, and if other people do too, we can aim all of that on him too and maximise the possibility of checking that he's telling the truth. So maybe plan A wasn't so good. We need plan B.
Nicholas will offer to step in if Jada is okay with that.
You can try.
That's good with that.
You can try your hypnotism. You can do anything you like, of course.
Oh.
Just to quickly check.
Or you could try hypnotising him first.
Yeah, and just to check.
Exactly what does hypnotism do, Chris?
Just before I answer that, just checking. Nothing from either Keros or Demos or anybody else. I just want to make sure we're sharing the spotlight around. Everybody good?
Yep.
Yep.
Dinya and Eskel are fine.
Okay.
Watching.
Mason's away.
Okay. Cool.
Great.
Sorry. Go, please.
I was just going to say, Gray's just tending to Ningwen and kind of brooding a little bit.
Okay. I'm seeing a darker side of Grey of late. That's interesting.
Yeah, I know, yeah. A little dark, a little jealous.
Hypnosis. This skill provides a bonus for placing a willing individual into a trance where they are responsive to suggestions. An unwilling individual receives a plus 50 resistance roll bonus. Such an individual can be told to forget that they've been placed under hypnotism. They can be primed to perform some kind of task which is triggered by a word, gesture, etc. Note, this skill is most useful on people willing or desiring to enter a hypnotic state. The hypnotist must first induce a hypnotic state in the target. At this point, the hypnotist is able to cause the individual to perform a variety of actions and unconscious memories. Post-hypnotic suggestions are the most difficult to maneuver. They go from ranging in difficulty. A routine is inducing a hypnotic trance in a target that desires to be hypnotized, to the most difficult and absurd is a post-hypnotic suggestion involving bodily harm or death.
And how hard is that to do, Chris?
That's an absurd maneuver, so that would be a very heavy negative to your attempt. Would be a...
This reeks of XP. Jada, you have to have a go. Both because it's awesome, and it's awesome. So I think you should have a go because it's awesome. If you can hypnotise this bastard, you can hypnotise anyone.
Can you hypnotise people when they can't understand you?
That's an empirical question. Not that Tarquin's a scientist, unlike his controller.
Yeah.
Also, if he starts talking in some language we don't understand,
Yes,
won't
and we know what he
he's saying.
talks. But it doesn't matter. But someone will know what he's saying, and we're all listening, right?
Yep, Severin can always get out of this little fish if he is speaking a language they don't understand.
Right, and Tarquin's close and speaks lots of languages, so if we can get the language out of him, it's great.
I'll give it a go, and let's hope I roll 100.
Go for it.
Three times. Yep.
I'll get down next to him, not too close though, don't trust him. And I'll talk, it's probably gibberish to him. I'll say...
What language are you speaking in? Which one do you choose?
Ooh! Did we decide South Tongue is maybe...
No, go for the language he flinched in. He understands it.
Oh, you reckon? Thebronic. I don't speak it very well. Okay, Thebronic. I'll try Thebronic.
Okay. What level do you speak for Thebronic, by the way?
2.
Sorry?
2.
2. So 2, you can manage. You can manage bathroom, dog, bird, and good, bad, left and right, and maybe a few other words.
I've got to try a different one. Let's just hope he's polyglot. Yeah, I'll try South Tongue because I'm good at that.
Done. Give me a roll.
Here's hoping. A roll.
Yep.
Where is my dice? There it is. Won't be a sec. Come on, 100. Main page. Alright, here we go. 98!
That's a good roll.
Please tell me that.
That's a very
Please
good
tell me
roll.
I don't have. It is a very good roll.
There's a negative.
Wow, I manifested that.
there is a hefty negative to this because of the situation. He's unwilling, and
okay, I have a plus 56 in it too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So 98 minus 50 minus. Let me just check. What did I say? All difficulties. Yeah, this would be a sheer folly. So negative that. Plus 58, did you say?
56.
56, yeah, cool. My goodness. That was a heck of a roll. What level? I can't believe this. What level, please, is Jada?
7, I think.
7. Yes, 7.
Okay. Okay. Bearing in mind he gets plus 50 to the roll. Had you not rolled so high, but he's got to roll better than an 11 to succeed.
Oh.
Oh.
Make it public.
Yeah, I will. Okay. Exclamation mark space D100. So there was a negative 50 because he's unwilling, and then a negative 50 because of the situation. So he's an unwilling target to begin with, and then because he's got one of your arrows in his leg, and he doesn't seem to be particularly cooperative. That's why there's a negative 100 to this roll. But you still, even with rolling a 98, you get an 11% chance. If he rolls 11 or under, he fails. Here's the roll coming at you now.
Whoa!
Oh,
Who cares, man?
I'm sorry, Jada. You
Wait. 6 plus 3 is 9.
You stare into his eyes. The rain dribbles down your chin, and after a time of you speaking to him, using soothing tones, he just and spits, and this time in your face.
Right. So I think it's time to bulldog this guy. Let's just
get me at him.
Let's bulldog him.
Agreed. Several
is
would
it?
like to give him another kick.
Ooh, okay.
I'll hypnotise him with my quarterstaff.
This
I
time,
think Etienne would slap him too for spitting
Yeah.
at a woman
yeah.
with his sword on the head.
Okay.
It's lucky I wear
Yeah.
a face robe for this reason.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
so Severin, you kicked him, and he must have
Yep.
been ready for it because this time he doesn't. He just you see him tense, but he doesn't scream. He doesn't bite his lip anymore. However, was he ready for Etienne? No, he wasn't ready for Etienne. So he was ready for Severin to kick him, but when Etienne whacks him, he just screams. He can't help himself. He just yells in pain. It's the first kind of sound you've heard him make.
Can we tell
whilst-
what language you might speak on the phonemes from the yell? Or am I getting too technical about pain?
Nope.
Okay.
Can I just say, whilst that was happening, and perhaps whilst Jada was doing her hypnosis and Nicholas would have been preparing, and whilst he was getting kicked,
Yep.
Nicholas would put his hands on him and cast his spell with 4
Yeah,
rounds
I'm
prep.
happy with that. Done.
Is that all right? Sorry, I hope you don't mind Nicholas
that's
jumping
fine.
in here.
Yep.
Perfect.
Oh, dear, oh dear, that's a 99.
Oof. Plus 30 because you're touching, plus 20 for 2 rounds prep. That's a massive roll. Okay. Cool. What's the effect of the spell, please, Pete?
It's only
So-
a level
sorry.
2 spell.
So, firstly, for a start, goes perhaps without saying, that spell was definitely successful.
So it's charm kind.
Okay.
So humanoid target believes caster is a good friend.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
So Nicholas will put himself in front of him and just stand there and
Yeah,
wait for him to react.
What's Nicholas's level again, please? 7th?
Oh, sorry, cause we're not done, are we? Yeah. Yeah, 7.
7th? 4th. Okay. Okay. All right. So this guy is, he's closed his eyes after he's screamed. He opens them again. I mean, it's now dark, but there's enough light, and there was just the flash of lightning you just heard just then. And he looks up, and for all of his self-control and everything about him, his eyes, for those that are studying him, and a number of you are quite closely, his eyes open up, and he just stares. And he says in Thebronic, does Nicholas understand Thebronic?
Nicholas speaks it to 7.
Okay. It's you. What, my friend, what are you doing here with this pack of bastards?
I know. So Nicholas is planning to keep him talking while he prepares his next spell.
Okay.
So Nicholas will say, yes, I know, I've been captured by them, they're bastards, heathens. Just keep him talking while he takes 4 rounds to prepare, basically.
So where do they capture you? Who are these fucking swine?
They're from the Roldenic Church.
Pigs. And he spits again. I'm trying to remember last time we met. Where I'm in so much pain. God, it hurts. Do they understand Thebronic?
No, I'm sure they don't. I've got, if 40 seconds is about up, Nicholas will say, I've got a spell that can perhaps help you forget your pain. Shall I cast it on you? Are you happy for me to cast a spell?
But I'm still what are you doing here? I mean, I still can't remember your name. Damn it. What's your name again? Oh my God, I can't believe this. You're a dear friend.
Thomas. You must tell us.
Talus, yes, of course. Of course, Talus, yeah. Sure,
Can I help you with my spell, yeah?
Yeah, you are an enchanter, aren't you? I'd forgotten.
I can help you forget your pain.
Yes, okay.
Yep. So if 4 rounds is up, Nicholas will put his hands on him again, and is he now a willing target? Does that give him a bonus?
Ha! Sneaky bastard.
It must
Yes,
do.
yes.
Yeah. Make GM chance be GM.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to
So-
say it just in case.
Watch and learn, other players. This is how you play the game.
Cool. So, okay to cast the next spell?
Please.
Oh, that's sorry. I should say it's an overcast by 1 level, so I've got 76 for the overcast.
So the overcast was successful. You don't short your brain out. Yep.
Nope.
And
Here's
then-
the spell roll. Oh, 68.
68. Okay. You're prepared for 4 rounds plus 20. You're touching him plus 30, and
He's willing.
willing target of.
Can someone tell me what's an overcast? I don't understand.
Oh, Nicholas is 7th level. This spell is 8th level.
Ah, okay, thank
So
you.
he's learnt the list to 10th level, so he knows the theory. It's a bit of a reach for him.
Overcasting is dangerous because you're exceeding your experience.
I understand. That's helpful. Thank you.
Cool. And what's the willing target, Pete?
Oh, sorry. Did you want me to find that? Sorry, I didn't.
I think
thought it was just-
you're actually at max negatives. So yep.
Okay.
And what's this? Well, certainly the spell goes off, whatever the spell is.
Well, it's conveniently called Domination.
Jesus. Okay.
Target must obey the will of the caster.
Okay.
If the caster gives an order to do something completely alien to the target, they may make another resistance roll with special plus 25 modification. So that's only if Nicholas decided to make him believe he was a friend, so that he can ask all sorts of questions that won't be against what he would normally do. So that was the theory.
Got it. Okay. You cast the spell. What do you do?
Nicholas will say, well, he wants to find out if it's worked. So can you tell me your name?
You know my name. It's Moth.
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 Can you please tell my friend your name?
Who are you gesturing to?
Gesture to Jadar.
The man looks Jadar, the woman he just spat at a matter of a few minutes ago, and says, "My name is Moth."
Okay, it's worked. Forget about your pain. Nicholas said he was going to make him forget his pain, and he's going so yeah. The target must obey all the will of the caster. So as much as Nicholas can tell, he's going to hopefully forget about his pain. And Nicholas will be open to say to the group in the language we speak. He speaks Thronic. He is now doing what I ask him to do. We'll just start off with Moth. How are you feeling right now? Nicholas has got to ask these questions, you see, for research purposes.
I'm wet, cold, and I'm scared, and I'm in pain, even though I'm trying not to be in pain.
How do you feel towards your mission and your greater goals in life? You feel like a failure.
Yes, and my wife was right about me.
Okay, very good to know. Nicholas will ask the group for questions about that we need to be asking him. Nicholas also instructs
Nicholas, can we ask, where is the boat? When does it arrive?
Yeah.
How much time do we have?
Yes, cool. Yeah, I've got that on my list of questions. I might just go through my list and then we'll see if I've got some gaps. Is that okay? Actually. Yeah.
Does he want to be hypnotized?
You should hypnotise him too. Make the most of it. Go for it. Yeah, hypnotism.
So Nicholas will ask for who he is and what organisation he's part of.
Well, I'm Moth. I'm a mercenary for hire, and I'm a member of the Bitter Order.
Actually, we'll establish who speaks the Bronic and who needs translation, or will we just get someone to translate as we go? Nicholas won't do it.
I think for interest of time,
Yep.
we translate afterwards. Yep.
Yep. Cool. Cool. Do you work for Tikos?
I work for the Bitter Order, who work for Tikos.
Okay. Who else was in? Can you name the? Nicholas wants to gather information about the party he was in. We don't actually need to hear them all, but he'll ask the party names and who their leader was, just so that if we need to sort of convince our way in somewhere we've got names to go with, we don't need them. We can.
He gives off a series of five other names, and he says Taran was my leader.
And so, Pete, can you ask who was Taran so I can go and look and study them?
Cool. Yeah. Who was Taran exactly?
A man, white hair, covered face, black robes with a bow.
Okay. So at this point, Chris, I'm going to leave the party and explain I want to go look and study them. Okay. And I'll tell the party it's important for future spells. I'll bugger off, go look and study him, and then come back.
Okay. Cool.
Nicholas will continue with who was the prisoner.
Some scum we found. We assumed he was spying on us. He was taken back to be interrogated and then executed.
Fair enough. What was your mission? What was your group doing?
We were patrolling.
What will be the consequence of our attack on you and of that archer who ran away? Are we in danger immediately from the rest of the bitter? The who? The bitter?
Bitter order.
Bitter order.
Unlikely. He will. Odie is his name. Odie will make it back to the base, back to the temple, and he will inform them. He will have gone there directly. Well, he would have presumably doubled back to avoid you and gone there directly. Unlikely, unless ordered otherwise, that they would come out on this night. Orders are to hold up and defend the temple.
Excellent. Tell us about the organisation that the Bitter Order or TCOS have here in terms of locations, numbers, missions, ways of operating.
So there are a mixture of us here. The Bitter Order, we are a mixture of mercenaries, both offering both blades and magic for hire, and we typically do the bidding of various UPP nations. Those that follow the UPP tend to dislike using magic, and by using us, the UPP nations, TCOS and the various others, can get their dirty work done by ourselves. They can still remain true to their fundamental cause, which is the removal of magic, yet people of the Bitter Order can undertake magic on their behalf. There are a number of us, a collection of us here employed directly by the Bitter Order, but there are also a number of TCOS people here. They're led by someone I just simply know him as the Black Baron.
Whereabouts are you located? Your base or bases?
There is one base here. It's due south. It's down on the coast, south of what the locals call Big Head Hill. It's at the base of a cliff. On the waterline, it's an old temple to some ancient foul gods, apparently some of the refugees that fled Tarak Nev, we're told. It's been disused for several hundred years. The TCOS people have used it as a storage location for arms shipments and arms caches now for 10 or 15 years. Our mission was to patrol, receive the last small order in the last 3 weeks, and then when the large ship arrives, it will be moored off the large rock, which acts as a jetty in the small natural harbour, and we're to load the not inconsiderable amounts of weapons, poisons, and other tools of the trade for the various TCOS cells around the South Katana Sea onto the ship. That will happen tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. This is just north of the shoals, is it?
Just north of the shoals, correct.
Fantastic. So there are other bases on the island? So just the temple,
Yes.
referred to as the temple, operating from sort of the bottom of the cliff, but there's a way up the cliff.
Yes. There is a hidden path at the top of the cliff, always guarded. There is a rope ladder. At the slightest sign of trouble, and certainly once Odie reports the presence of these people, everybody will be on a particularly high alert. Any sign of trouble, the rope ladder is cut, and there is a gap of some 20 or 30 foot that would need to be dropped, effectively sealing off the natural path that goes to the top of the cliff, some 60 or 70 foot, down to the rocks which run at the base of the cliff along to the cave where the temple is located.
Can I check, Chris? Is Tarquin listening to this?
You said you'd gone and checked checked the bodies. So,
Right, so yeah, he's not. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
just to check again, to share the love. Any actions from anybody else at the stage?
No, just listening intently.
Yeah, I think that's all the saying. Shit's just got real.
Getting some information, yeah?
Well, actually, maybe the GM's being a little bit free with his information. Description of the spell again, Pete, just to be crystal clear.
Target must obey the will of the caster.
Right.
Yeah.
If the caster gives an order to do something completely alien to the target, they may make another resistance roll with a special
Cool.
modification.
Done. Yeah, cool. Fair enough.
It is an 8th level spell.
It is an 8th level spell. Cool.
Yeah. Do anyone else? I've got a few more. So we've got where it is. We've got what are the numbers exactly, if you can?
Around 23 or 24, I think.
23 to 24, and that's combined Bitter Order and TCOS operatives.
Yes.
Can we ask if there's any weaknesses in their security?
Good question.
What's a weakness?
Changing the guard. Blind spots.
When will I be back, Chris? Just tell me when I'm back.
Okay. Give it a bit longer, Giles.
Yeah, any blind spots or weaknesses?
No, the mouth of the cave is well protected. We have stacked up the crates of weapons. They're very heavy, difficult to move, and we've formed almost like battlements with crates inside the cave mouth. There's a very, very narrow entrance between a set of crates. Only one person at a time, specifically designed that if the place is assaulted, that people would have assaultees would have to go in by one, and they would be shot and stabbed as they do so. There's also a variety of deterrents, both, in the area.
What are the nature of those deterrents?
There are caltrops scattered at the mouth of the tunnel. At the mouth of the cave. Anybody going through them can see them clearly enough, but they will need to take their time. The caltrops are, of course, poisoned. Up on top of the cliff, there are a variety of traps.
On the top of the cliff, as in on the path down?
Not on the path down, but surrounding the hidden entry to find the way to get down to the path.
Cool. Nicholas will ask for a detailed description of the hidden entry and detailed description of the cliff above the cave. I suppose we don't need it now, but just sort of, and ask him to point out to the best of his ability where the cave and where the path is on the map, if possible.
Okay. The map will get saturated, by the way. I don't know quite where
it's...
Oh,
true. Perhaps not. Perhaps not. We'll just ask for any landmarks as well. Give us orientation to it the best he can, not expecting... Yeah. So, what do they have magic users?
Yes.
What are the nature of the magic that they can use?
Unsure exactly. There is a man with a rotting face.
Oh.
We think, well, you didn't see that at all. Why did that show up there? Wasn't meant to show. That wasn't meant to show up there. You didn't see a thing.
Speak of the rotting faced man, and he shall appear.
Yes.
Yeah.
An old adage. And
Yes.
that's again.
Yes.
Should have taken the alcohol resistance my character had.
Yeah, you should have. GM
wow.
needs to switch his screen a little bit. GM's going to do this. There we go. He can futz around to his own desire. You didn't see a thing. Yes, there is a man in purple robes. He wears some kind of device or armor with a face on it, and his own mouth is either rotting or sewn up, or he's horrible to look at. He apparently is a magic user of some power. There is another, a man in red robes with a staff. There's the warrior mage with the flaming sword. He got into an argument with one of the Tikos people, and highly unusual because the discipline in the camp is extremely high, but there was an argument and he lit his scimitar on fire. So at least 3 magic users that I'm aware of.
And archers and fighters.
Mixture of both.
And stealth.
Also people that can move quietly, and there are invisible people at the top of the cliff.
So the arrangement for the pickup of the weapons is tomorrow night.
Yes.
Signals given. Boats coming from the big boat will moor at the large rock.
Yes. We will then take the long boats that are moored very close to the mouth of the cave, and it'll have to be several days, we will transport the not inconsiderable amount of cases of weapons, poisons, etc. out to the vessel.
Okay. So longboats, yeah. Days to transport.
Giles, around this time, Tarquin's back, and there was someone that matched that description.
That's helpful, thank you.
Other question is are their party aware of us?
Not that I know of. We were just on a routine patrol.
And were they aware of the Roldenic soldiers on the island?
What Rolemaster soldiers?
What can you tell us about the Black Baron? Malus, I assume?
I don't know his name. He wears a rapier at his sides, older man, grey hair, wears black. He is definitely in command.
Ask him about El Hasib. I'm back now.
Yep. And El Hasib?
Yes, he is there. He also uses magic. He is a warrior and a magic user.
So he's not. So he's a 4th magic user?
Yes, I'd forgot. Someone had forgotten him. Yes.
I reckon that's the end of my questions, apart from Nicholas's weirdo questions about his state of mind. Does anyone else have other questions? Please jump in.
I think we should ask him what he wants.
Yeah.
What do you want us to do with you? I want him to tell us.
I want to see my wife again. I love her.
Nicholas isn't interested in that.
But Tarquin's interested in that.
He's not going to see his wife.
And I think Tarquin would take his dagger and put it to his throat and look at the others in the party and say, our choices are to kill him or to let him go, accept the consequences, and give him the opportunity to see his wife. What do you want to do? What do you want to do, team?
Nicholas will say that's a really. I think we should finish questioning him first. I think we haven't asked all the questions we need to.
The man looks at you, Tarquin. Again, hoiks up a really good loogie and spits it at you.
Nicholas, before Nicholas sees him doing that, Nicholas will say, "Don't."
Okay, he stops.
Sorry. Yeah. Anyway.
Any other actions from Jada? Anything else from Keros? Anything from Gray or Severin or anybody else standing around. I just want to make sure that everybody gets their time.
No, I believe Asgil kind of feels they have it at hand, but he is happy to lend a knife if required. And Tanya will just be watching, observing, and just keeping an eye out.
Okay.
I don't think Etienne would do anything. Or Kyrus?
She wants to let him go and see his wife. It's nice.
Just a little bit faint there.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
Keros would want him to go and see his wife. She's quite touched by that, and probably a bit stupid. And she would be holding Victory very close.
Okay.
If that's the opinion, Nicholas will ask him, what would you like to do to us right now?
Well, I'd like to catch up. You're my dear friends.
Absolutely.
These people here, I'm paid by the Bitter Order and ultimately by Tikos to slay them. The more I spend time with Tikos, the more I hear about the idyllic society that they lead down in Turong, this nation that I've always known as some bogey land place to frighten children, to frighten rich merchants and priests. Sounds pretty good. People can be free there. Yes, yes, the government watches you, and yes, they control you, but they treat their citizens well. So the more I hear of what Tikos says, and the more I hear, maybe it's just simply because I've spent time with them, maybe too much time. We've been on this miserable bloody island for 3 months now. Too long. Maybe I'm getting infected by their thoughts, but I'm increasingly turning my mind and my opinion, higher sword that I am, that actually there might be something in there, mumbo jumbo. So, for you, my friend, I'd like to catch up and have a beer and talk about old times. For the rest of these scum, I'd like to stick my knife through their kidneys.
We have no
From a medical perspective, that's a rapid and not very comfortable way to die. It's,
So if we were to let you go, you would immediately go back, tell what you've learned of us, and be willing to kill all of them. Just being clear.
Yes. I think it would take some time for me to get back, he says, and he points to the arrow in his leg.
I think at this point Tarquin would look at Etienne. Because if Etienne gives him a nod of approval, Tarquin's going to stick a knife through his gullet.
If Nicholas picks up on
I
that,
am Etienne. I don't want to be Etienne.
Nicholas will look around for any other questions. So, just wanting to be clear, we've got a reasonably as detailed description as possible of the location.
Very detailed. You turn down there, you look for the large white rock, which looks like this. Yep. You go then down to the pine tree, which has been splintered like this. Then you do that, you follow the animal trail down here, and then you start to get down to the scraggly pines by the coast. Once you start getting down to the scraggly pines by the coast, don't follow the animal path because it's trapped. Go round the animal path, and that will take you to the hidden entrance to the steps to the path that go down the cliff. You get him to repeat it back 3 times.
Cool. And this includes where the invisible people tend to be. You can't tell for sure. All the traps. Also, a location of, in his estimation, above the cliff where the cave is.
Yes. Yep. Okay.
So
you get that.
So that's further down from the path, I assume, sort of thing.
Yes. So once he describes, you come down to the to the hidden path that goes down the cliff, and then you come down to basically as the waves are coming in, and there's a very, very narrow piece of rock that hugs the base of the cliffs. That goes around for some 200-300 feet, and that goes that way, that way, around to the cave mouth.
Cool. And the boats are moored very close to there.
Yes. You will see the boats moored outside the cave, or close to being outside the cave.
Can we have an opportunity to... yeah, anyone else who wants to ask a question? Because now's our chance, I think.
Anyone that's a good thing I was like about the magically appearing archer who then shoots and then disappear. Anything you could tell us about that individual?
I think Nicholas would point out, I think they were Roldenic. Was that the... I believe they were Roldenic.
Did you ask the question, Nicholas?
Yes, definitely.
Or maybe how the individual might have been doing it?
What invisible archer? We have invisible people at the top of the cliff. We don't have an invisible archer out in patrol. We do keep very, very quiet, and we're under orders to capture anybody such as this stupid, beautiful piece of meat above me, looking at Tarquin, with a knife to his throat, to bring back to question and then slay.
Gray would just be interested to know if he would draw the symbol that he was kind of shown or kind of talked to by Ningwen, the symbols that they saw and burnt into the ground, and to ask if he knew anything about what they might mean.
The symbol that you saw burnt into the ground? This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Good question.
Yeah, this one, I'll just double check that we're on the right track. I'm actually going to... What can I do? Yeah, no, I'll flash it up on screen. I'll just try not to spoil my surprise too much. You didn't see anything. Oh, no. You didn't see anything before. Nothing, I say. Nothing.
Nothing. There was nothing to see.
Nothing to see. You did see... That was the symbol that you saw etched into the ground.
Can only see characters?
Oh, yes, you can. Sorry. Yes. You can see that now. That was the symbol.
Yes.
Yeah. So that there is, and Gray knows this, it's the Holy Rodenic symbol. So it's the symbol of the Holy Rodenic Church.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. I think there's anything else to ask him.
Nicholas will ask, is there anything else that we need to know? Any other defences? Any other things about this island? Anything else about your group? That's a weird question.
We have orders to hunker down should we be attacked. We think we've been told and we believe that our cave is imminently defensible. I understand some of the magic users have spoken about strategies that they would employ should they be attacked, or should we be attacked. There are good drills. People stay on watch. Discipline is very high. There is no alcohol. People are alert and ready for any trouble. Everybody is sick and tired of being on this horrible place, and with this he looks around at the weather just bucketing down. He looks up at Tarquin's beautiful face with a knife to his neck and just sighs and says, I miss my wife.
And I would say you should. And I'd slice his throat, hold his head open, and let him bleed to death.
There we go. Does anybody attempt to intervene as Tarquin does that, or do you just let him stand back and do it? Intervene, going once. Go on.
I just want to check. We did get I do want to check. We got a read on how frequent their patrols were.
Nope.
Did he describe that?
Nope.
That's where Nicholas would stop Tarquin and say, we're not finished quite yet. Good, if he can, and would want to ask about patrols.
Give me an agility check. Roll your agility against each other. So agility, make a roll, add your agility bonus. The fastest person wins, and let's see what happens.
That's
I'm just trying to find my...
85.
Plus?
Nicholas.
What, is that
Sorry. 71 plus 14.
85? There you go. You've got to be 85, Giles.
I've got to be 85. So my... how do I do this? I have a new computer.
Exclamation mark.
Ah.
R space D100.
Yeah, but it's gone wacky, so... I think I don't think this will work.
Would you like me to roll for you?
No, yes, could you roll for me?
Yeah, cool. You get 49.
What's your agility, please, Giles? What's Tarquin's agility?
Tarquin's agility is 75.
No, the bonus.
30.
30 plus
Whoa,
he is fast. Well, agile. 30 plus
He's
what was the roll, please, Gray?
49.
49. Really close, but Nicholas, you're faster. You managed to stay his hand. Up to you whether you want to try to contest that, Tarquin.
No, I'm happy to roll with the punches, and I would say to Nicholas, I thought we were done.
Oh, Nicholas would say,
I think he's done.
Nicholas apologises. Absolutely, I'm just slow to think today. Been a long day. Just one more, a couple more questions. Asking the guy to describe. It's really sort of morbid, discussing front.
And I do it holding his knife to his throat.
Yeah,
that's right. He can hear. I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah.
That's Nicholas might not be, but I am.
But this guy also thinks Nicholas is his friend. Anyway.
Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Cold, Nicholas. Really cold.
But Nicholas can say you can't kill him, and he might tell us stuff he wouldn't have spoken about because, he thinks you're his friend. So we might get new information from this.
Nicholas, he'll say anything. He should answer anything that we ask, but it's a matter of us deciding what we want to know. Nicholas will ask, what is the patrol roster? And what will be the response when his patrol doesn't come back, or when Odie comes back with these news? Can he predict what the response will be?
High alert. They'll station more people at the top of the cliff. There's usually 3. There'll be more than 3 at the top of the cliff, and definitely 1, if not more, invisible. And they'll double the watch at the front, and everybody will be on high alert.
Will they send out others to investigate further?
No. We're highly defensible where we are. It'd have to be a suicide mission to try to come in and take us out.
So what is the key weakness? How do we get into this? Can we jump down from the cliffs to get in? Pete, I would say this to Pete. Tarquin would say to...
Sorry,
Leaf,
anyone asking questions, I assume...
I would ask Leaf, can we sneak in from the sides?
One direction of the cliffs is a dead end, so the cave ends at a dead end. So once you come down onto this small shelf of rock, which can get covered at high tide, not always. It certainly gets wet at high tide. Ultimately, however, there is only one way along this path. The cliffs are varying. Probably the shortest is 60 foot, up to sometimes 90 or even more than 100 foot tall.
Okay.
Is there a back entrance to the cave?
No.
That he knows of. No, definitely not. To the temple.
I would say to Leaf, in a language that this person can't understand, that's interesting. So probably South Tongue. Just so Leaf knows, I think that's interesting.
It's Nicholas that's doing the talking, the interrogation, by the way.
Oh, sorry, yeah, whoever's interrogating.
Oh, he's saying that to Nicholas. Oh, Nicholas will just say, ask questions. Nicholas can translate or ask him directly, or Nicholas will back them up or whatever. So anyone just ask questions. Just assume that Nicholas will ask them.
Okay.
So does he need to tell us more about that? Is that what you mean, Tarquin?
I'd say no, but I would want to indicate that there might be a back way in that they haven't suspected that I can help them with.
Group there. That's a good call. Yeah. Any other questions? Like a show host or something. If we can't remember any, it's probably glaring ones that we're missing.
I think you've done a great job, Pete.
Yep, cool.
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
So Nathan, I think you've done a great job.
Anyone else? Sarah? Anthony? I don't want to take the blame if I've missed an obvious one. Alex?
Oh, gosh.
What's his wife
Nathan?
like?
We really want to know that one.
What's the name?
Yeah, is she a nice person?
She's a kind person. She's a good person. She doesn't really know what I do for work. I just go away and I come back and I bring money. We've tried to have children, but we can't have children. She's beautiful. She has red hair, and I love her.
Oh.
Okay, so Tarquin wants to stick a knife through his throat. Still. And actually, it makes a big difference because Tarquin's worked pretty hard to, charm Curios. So that really makes a big difference because he knows he'll lose a lot of cred. And he's not that keen on that, but that's tough.
Any other questions from anyone?
Did we ask sort of why, how we thought we were the only ones doing this, but there's all these other groups? Did we ask about that?
Yeah, asked about, because the other group that we were of is the Roldenics, and they didn't know anything about them. But I suppose it's obvious they're keeping quite a low profile.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, what's the range of their patrolling? I mean, they're supposed to keep a low profile on the island. What's the range?
We go out where we met this scum looking at Tarquin. So approximately 3 miles max from the coast. We don't really go much further than the decrepit little village that's close to here. You can probably see the lights from here.
Absolutely. I've forgotten what the name of that one is called. Twilight something or no? Anyway, cool. No one else has got Shadow's Rest?
We don't know the
Shadow's
name.
Rest.
We don't know the name.
Oh no, we got it from the fisher folk.
No, we don't know the name, says Moth.
Oh, right. My mistake. No, sorry. No one else with questions? Mason or Anthony?
No.
Yep, Nicholas will... No, Nicholas will step back and just gesture to Tarquin.
And I will cut his throat.
Yep, and nobody intervenes?
No.
Okay.
Heros will cry.
I think actually from the beginning of this, Leif probably would have absented himself, actually.
Okay.
Just he would have got the way this was going. He's not comfortable, and he realizes the necessity, but he would not have wanted to, I don't think he would want to stick around really.
Okay.
Same. Thanks, Leif.
Okay. Any reaction from Jada, Grey, or Askell, anybody else?
Grey would hug Keros so that she doesn't have to look at this horrible situation. And he'd steer daggers at Tarquin.
Ooh.
Jada will be praying.
Anything for Askell?
Yeah, Askell would probably just do that sort of like yeah, I get it. Not much else. Tanya would probably just look away.
Okay.
Yeah, into the heavy rain and the darkness, and yeah.
Okay. I see that Mason is now back. Mason, I don't know how much of you caught, but does Demos? Demos is just about to witness murder, cold-blooded murder, by this new guy you've just met.
Yeah, the fuck.
He just spit on us.
I think he'd look at Nathan and get a gaze from her because he feels like when it comes to stuff like this, she's she can kind of act like his little moral compass, I
Mm-hmm.
guess.
What?
So yeah.
You're joking?
But this is what I mean. Mathan is very much a protector of the group, and if she thinks this guy's a threat, then Demos will be like, all right.
The words out of her mouth. If he's looking to hurt, that's all she would say. He is a threat.
All right. Demos is like, all right, so be it. Yep. And then he'd walk off.
Just entirely up to characters, players, how they want to do this. Just some games I've seen, people have a little notebook beside them when they play, and they have like a little graph for each how the character currently feels about other characters in the group. And they actively keep tabs, and they sometimes will roll a dice to see how their character feels about another character's actions. Entirely up to you, entirely voluntary. There's nothing in the game that says you have to do that. But just as a thought, this game is about playing a role, and I'm going to describe the moments in a second. This complete stranger, this good-looking stranger who seems to know Etienne, has come up, has been involved in the questioning, and then at Nicholas's kind of nod, pulls back this guy's head. This kind of terror in his eyes. You think for a second you can imagine that perhaps the mind of a beautiful young woman with flame red hair and a warm embrace flashes through his head. And then the next thing that flashes through his head is Tarquin's knife. There's a sick gurgling sound, a spurt of blood. He convulses, and then he's dead.
I think the other thing too is everyone would notice Tarquin moves his lips, so he's speaking something silently as he does it.
Okay, that's perfectly normal.
Yeah, I think
Welcome to the group, everybody.
One thing, and I guess it's not having Graham here, but Severin is the pseudo type leader of the Twilight party. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure whether he probably. Well, I think he would have actually interjected a bit more.
I am sorry. I think you might be right, but I did call for action. I'm sorry. This man is now dead.
No. Yep. Just sort of like, just looking back on it, like, okay. Graham probably would have.
Yep.
I'll take that into advisor the next time.
Okay. So, you stand in a semicircle. There is a dead man at your feet. There is blood everywhere. He twitches slightly. The rain is bucketing down. I don't know how your characters feel right about now, but that's the situation. What do you do?
So I think after a few moments, Nicholas would just give a pause, and then just tap Tarquin on the shoulder and say, "Thanks for taking care of that."
I think Tarquin would turn to Nicholas and use his maximum charm maneuver to say, "Thank you. I feel like there's something about this group because of Etienne that makes me feel like I should be here. But it's not just Etienne. So your comment isn't really important to me."
It's a hell of an entrance, Giles.
That's what Tarquin would say to.
I'm just looking at this guy throat in cold blood. I feel like I belong.
And I want this to be one of these XP maneuver things, Chris. So I want to use all of my charm because I really mean it, right? If Tarquin's going to belong, he needs to be involved.
Yep.
And so he really means this.
Give me a roll.
It's like, this is not about Etienne, this is about everyone.
Give me a roll. So this is he's focusing on Nicholas, who's the one who's been doing the questioning, and Nicholas is part of the Twilight Party. Not that obviously Tarquin knows that.
So how do I do this roll thing?
And then you can just copy it and paste it for later.
There you go.
Oh no, I don't want to do that. I want to take it back. No.
Too late.
You've done something mean to me because I didn't understand math.
Too late.
It's not fair.
Too late.
Not fair.
It's the dice, man. The
It'll probably
dice.
work anyway. His charm is immense.
What
so,
is
Oh,
what's
his charm is massive. He's
Okay.
the charmingest dude ever.
Giles? What's his charm, please?
Oh, now I have to go back to game. Mate. Oh, sorry. It's, So I absolutely promise I'll have this better organised as time goes on.
All good.
This charm is 85,
There you go.
so pretty massive.
So that's 102. Nicholas is neither. Nicholas is probably neutral. 102. Near success. It's taken longer than you'd hoped, but you've almost succeeded fully influencing your target. If appropriate, roll again next round with a +10. If you want to give it another roll, you can. Unless, I guess I'd turn to Nicholas here and say,
Yeah, exactly.
Nicholas, what would you be positive, negative, or purely indifferent?
So what does he get from Tarquin that he's trying to charm him? Is he aware of that?
I don't know. Just what's Tarquin doing?
Well, Tarquin's trying to make clear that I think getting rid of this guy is dead weight, and we've got a place to be in not very long. So we need to just get rid of him and move on.
But, Nicholas entirely agrees.
Interrogated him.
Okay.
Nicholas
So we just
entirely
need
agrees.
to move. We need to move on. You guys can flap about stuff, but yeah.
Yep. So Nicholas is happy to give a positive reaction, and I mean, he'll also try and see if he can just be like do the little shifty eye thing to sort of look at Jadar or where Kiros is, or some of the more sensitive parts of the part, or Severin, just to try and give Tarquin the idea that to watch yourself a little bit, because not everyone's sort of into murder and cold blood. But Nicholas would definitely would agree with him, but he wouldn't. But Nicholas would be aware of not agreeing too over enthusiastically, because he doesn't want to put his other friends offside, whom he knows will be a bit of a sensitive subject.
Okay.
But he would certainly give the signal to Tarquin that he agrees.
So there's your kind of reaction, Tarquin. Up to you if you want to continue it.
Yeah, this dude's dead. I'd cut him.
Okay. No, that's done. But whether or not you wanted another charm offensive.
I would work hard to charm. Yeah, so I'd be still putting on the charm hand over fist.
Okay.
If for no other reason that it's a great maneuver. Yeah.
give me a roll, please.
No, now I need to figure this stuff out again. It's
Exclamation mark R space D100.
Yeah, so this I guess is to charm everyone else in the team.
Okay, it's a 40 plus 85.
Yep, 85.
So a 125. This is meant to be individual, but there are some people around you. There are some people aren't. Keros has gone off and discussed. So is Nicholas. So is Leif. Potentially some others have turned away. Jadar's turned away. Success. O ye of the silver tongue, your smooth talk. You talk your target into tractability. Have you considered a career in politics? Is the line from the chart. Stress again, as we did last time. This kind of role is typically used on a non-playing character, on a character that the GM would play. These are trying to influence player characters that have people behind them that run them and see how they feel and how they operate. It's ultimately up to you how your characters take that, but certainly fair to say the reaction was Tarquin using South Tongue, a mixture of South Tongue and Westeron, smiles and beans and come on, there was really no choice, and guy was dead weight, but he makes it kind of fun and jolly. Murder's good.
Death is good sometimes.
So that's the situation. What do you do, please?
So from Askell, I think he would actually probably try and point out the best he can the reality of we just ambushed a group, killed them without question. So the morality of what's just happened here is like, well, it could have been him out there already. and it could have been one of the other ones that we were just here with. So, you know, all of them were doomed one way or another. That'd be Askell's for the take on it.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think. I'm sure Severin would be giving a good little speech about morality,
Wagging his finger.
saying something about how, if we go around killing unarmed men who are at our mercy, are we any better than the men that have attacked us today?
To be fair, you attacked the other men, but yes, got your point.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Well, that was a good point.
Let's call it preemptive defence.
Exactly.
But
he understands. He's a soldier. He knows this stuff happens.
Okay. So, again, reality check. It's pouring with rain. You're standing and sitting in the rain around a body. There's a large pool of blood. Victory is licking the blood. This charming guy has just, said some nice words and made a pretty robust arguments for some of you, perhaps. What do you do? It would be probably time of day. It would probably be about 7 or 8 p.m.
I think Etienne would probably say, fair. Think of the maiden. But what we need to do now is get on and get to the ship. Let's move.
Yep. Agreed. We need to get head there as soon as we can. It's not coming until tomorrow night, so maybe we head that way and then find some shelter, seek some shelter so we can rest and get some power points back.
I think we definitely need to rest. What are our chances of travelling in the rain and is it dark by now?
Oh, well and truly, yeah.
Yep. So what would that look like in terms of negatives or feasibility of us travelling right now?
The terrain that you're heading over looks like this. Oops, a daisy. Eric, come here. There. Can I zoom in with that? Yeah, I can. That's good. So it's mostly barren, but you can see there these patches of trees, and you're in one of those patches of trees currently. Probably in the most shelter that you have now. You'll recall that when you were trying to walk at night, previously you were stumbling along rocks, and it was actually quite dangerous to walk. With the people that you have out in front, there's not a lot to trip on. You can't be guaranteed of your direction for a start, probably, or normally, without some kind of means to actually ascertain are you going the right way. But you could navigate the ground safely, but you may not know your direction. Is probably a good way to describe it.
So I think Tarquin at this point would tell the group, I'm in your debt. You've saved me from my captors who were going to kill me. I have a spell that can make night seem like day. If you want to travel now, I can make it seem like day for literally all of you. So we can travel as if it's day, but we lose the benefits of sleep. So if you want to travel, we can do that.
I think we definitely need sleep at some point.
Yeah. If we're going up after these heavily armed people, we're going to need to have some power points behind us.
Sounds like a good spell.
Yeah.
What's the disadvantages of trying to sleep in the rain if we can't find a more sheltered spot?
I'm not gonna run it for this game because I didn't. This mission because I didn't start it. But in future, there is a rule in some role-playing games, and I'm going to pick it up now. Unless you have a bedroll and you have a decent night's sleep, certainly maybe one night is okay. 2 nights, you start to get negative. Sleeping all night in the rain, you probably wouldn't be able to be honest. So I've kind of contradicted myself there. if you were just sleeping without a bedroll, but it was dry, you could probably get to sleep. None of you are going to be able to get to sleep in this. Even as exhausted as you are, you're going to need some shelter.
Right.
So-
So we're sheltered where we are. I reckon we'll sleep where we are and make an early start next morning.
Yep. Cool.
Is that okay?
Yep. Well, is it okay with you,
Yep.
GM?
Me? I don't exist. I'm not here.
Oh,
No,
all right then.
no. Okay, it's a party.
I think ECN wouldn't be that happy, but will sleep. At least from my perspective, Tarquin's totally fine because he's got a tent, so he can just sleep. That's but Etienne's gonna have to sleep in his armor in the rain. That will suck. So they're my
Got
two
a rain
characters.
shield spell. That's helpful.
Yeah.
What's the duration?
Oh yes, can you cast it? That would be awesome.
I'd have to go up a level. It's a level 9. Oh no, I am level 9.
Woohoo!
Oh,
As rain protection, except it affects everyone within a 10 foot of the target.
Sorry.
So the actual spell is rain protection. So this is a 4 foot, but I would have 10 foot.
Yep.
Barrier surrounds target. No rain or other precipitation can penetrate this barrier. This also provides a plus 15 to the target's resistant rolls and defensive bonuses against water-based elemental attacks, and it lasts 10 minutes a level. So what's that?
90 minutes.
90. Oh, so it's not that long.
It's an hour and a half.
That's a whole sleep cycle. That's a long time.
So happy to.
So, sorry, can you please say that again, please?
I was going to say maybe our magic users could get the first hour and a half solid sleep in under the rain protection 10 foot. How we'd have to snuggle, which Keros is fine with.
Does she now
if
want to
that's
snuggle with
helpful.
Tarquin?
She doesn't want to
Seriously,
snuggle with Tarquin. No, Tarquin can get his tent.
So if everyone could snuggle under that, 90 minutes of
Excuse.
sleep will give you about 80% of the value of sleep. You
In the
actually
real
only
world,
need.
I don't know what the GM thinks about
Yeah, I know.
90 minutes of sleep.
Well, the GM can tell us, but in the real world, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I'm happy to do that if people want to top to tail.
Okay. I would say you'd probably have to cast that to give that proper effect and to get a decent night's sleep. And Pete, by the way, you weren't properly under shelter here, just to qualify. So it's probably I should have answered you, Gray, when you ask, is the GM happy? The GM's perfectly happy. The GM doesn't exist, of course. You're really not under real shelter under these trees. There's water trickling down your neck, all the rest of it. So it's an absolute downpour. This spell would allow you to be under shelter. You'd probably have to cast, I would say, at least 3 times to give a decent night's sleep.
Oof. If it goes, well, you are level 9, but it's a lot of power points, right? And you need to get your power points back. What did we didn't ask the guy about those lights that we saw in the distance, did we?
We didn't. I'm assuming it's Shadow's Rest, the other town on the other harbour.
He did indicate it was the village. He did in his.
Right.
Yep.
On Deep Cove.
Would we get there? Maybe.
So what about if Keros sleeps last? So she does 3 sets of the spell for everyone else, and then she sleeps last in the tent, whilst she's not. Then she recovers all her power points.
Yep, without Tarquin, obviously, at this late stage.
And his bloody knife.
All right.
Sound like a plan?
Sounds good to me. Keeping on moving. That's nice work, Keros. Do you have enough power points? So 9th level. Do you have 27 power points that you can cast remaining for today before you sleep? Is the question.
So I wasn't here last game, and Mason didn't think she casted any power points in previous game. I had 41.
Okay. Sure.
So that's the honest.
Okay. Cool. So
Yep.
go for it. First spell.
Okay.
It's only going to fail on a 1 or a 2. Give me a roll.
Okay. 13.
That is. Oh, I think it's a weather spell. So you ready for a weather spell? You ready?
Yes. Oh.
There we go. That spell was successful, and the rain stops where you guys are underneath. It doesn't stop outside, obviously. It continues to bucket down, but you guys, it does. Next one, please, Keros. Only fails on a 1 or a 2.
71.
Second spell, successful. And the last?
Yep. Is 27.
7. Three spells cast successfully. So a 10-foot area for all 13 of you. 10-foot radius, did you say? Or diameter? 10-foot radius?
10. It just says within 10 foot of the target.
Oh yeah, so that's a 10-foot radius, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
So with Keros in the center, keeping herself awake,
Nice.
over the course of the evening, the elves, of course, don't need a full night's sleep. They only need to meditate for about 4 or so hours. The remainder of you sleep, and Keros, at the end of the time, you get to sleep in Tarquin's tent, as described, without Tarquin. The rain, of course, around you comes back. But you... What's that? 1.5 hours, 3 hours, 4.5 hours sleep. It's not great. You're kind of all a bit groggy, and the GM is being more than a little bit generous. As a heads up, for the next time you guys go out into the wilderness, I am going to be looking about things like bedrolls and actually proper amounts of rest. I didn't give you fair warning on this one, so we're gonna skip it. And yes, indeed, you sleep the night through, or you doze. Enough of you have had a chance to recuperate, so certainly rest. Severin, you are now on full hit points with the rest, so you're at your normal 150 hits. Who else was down? Grey, you were down slightly. You're now on your maximum of 1, 2, 2. Jadar was fine. Nicholas was fine. Askell was fine. Leif, you're now on your normal 140. Mithan, knock you up to your 170. 177, I should say. And everybody else is fine. All your power points are replenished, and happy to say you wake unmolested the next morning. You do, for the keen eyes amongst you, you do catch, you didn't really see it, or you weren't paying particular attention when you arrived. Perhaps I should have mentioned it to you when you were exploring around these hills. You're probably alerted by the villagers off in the distance, but yes, very far off, down by the coast, you can just make out what appears to be a very ramshackle palisade using Tanya's, Neathanel's spyglass. Unfortunately, the next day dawns, and while you've slept the night, the rain hasn't let up. If anything, it is even stronger and more intense. We'd talked previously about people having to keep their bows strung but under their cloaks. That's not going to count it on this situation. You're going to have to take your bowstrings off and off the crossbow to keep them dry. Otherwise, by the time you need to use them, they'll be warped and potentially out of shape, which will require you to reload your strings again, unless you want to try with wet strings. Up to you. I'm assuming everybody does that, but tell me if not, or if anybody's got another solution. You wake the next day. It's pretty grey. It's very grey and overcast. There's a lot of grey clouds. Not a lot of sunlight, as I said. The occasional strike of lightning and distant and sometimes not so distant thunder. What do you do?
Well, I guess we need. Yeah, have a stretch. I think we need to have a talk about what we want to do as a group.
Out of assault.
Yeah.
Attack. Is it so for wasted points, power points, then what skills have we got we could use? Magic, so invisibility, flying, I don't know, invisible flying assassins.
So there is something about stock take, but there's also something about action, right? So we have about 12 hours before the mission becomes obsolete, because
Don't know about that.
presumably the munitions will leave.
Well, they said it would take several days to load the munitions onto the boat. But yeah, point taken, definitely.
So somehow there is a sense of urgency here.
Yep.
I don't think we should do anything stupid, but we do need to think about that.
Just as a
It's,
quick aside, you were instructed by the Mon Men to intercede before the ship arrived. That would be something your characters would know and be aware of.
right,
So yeah,
and there's another group who might intercede before the ship arrives. Right, so there might be another red flag that goes up
Yeah,
beyond ours.
yeah. So on that, I wonder if we do want to leave a message for the Roldenic group about the location of the baddies.
Don't know.
Yeah. Try and make friends with them, you reckon?
I don't think we can make friends with them. We've killed them, and the hero party are wanted by them, 100%. But if we could use them to go and make an attack on them, the 10
So
would be ideal.
I mean, it would be.
I mean, actually, it's a great plan if there might be a way of sort of healing that rift.
Go away.
So, you know, as far as I understand it, and I didn't understand the game when you did this, but, you know, they hate this party for no good reason. So if this is a message to say, if this is a message of peace, you know, you hate us, but we didn't mean it, that's massively powerful, right? So that's probably more important than supporting the Mon Men in the long run.
The politics between the two parties is we unprovokedly attacked them on the forest trail. We didn't ask questions first. We just started attacking them and took out a decent number of them. And also they identified the hero party as people who tried to kill one of their religious figures, and they know that. So they've got two reasons for it to be very intensely for them to hate us, and I don't think we can reconcile.
We need to work pretty hard to reconcile that stuff, right? So we've done bad. Do we want to reconcile that?
Yeah, Tarquin could escape from us. I don't know. It would get quite complex. If he could go and get himself caught by them and let them know, I don't know. But that's sort of splitting the party, and that's not ideal.
I think you're misunderstanding. It's a question about what this party wants. So I'm not clear. This party is happy being antagonistic to the Roldenic Church, right? So it seems like a, you know, kind of comedy of errors. Although Tarquin wouldn't know that stuff, so Tarquin would just be like you guys, you saved me because you saved me and I might have died, so I owe you, and until I've cleared that debt, I owe you.
I don't know how receptive they would be to, or whether it's worth going to try and make amends with those guys. They're pretty fanatical.
Yeah, I agree. I was thinking we could leave their map in a sheltered place, easy with signs for them to find it, and mark on the map the location of the Tikos camp. Would be my guess. But that might not be a great idea because they'll follow us anyway. Yeah, perhaps we should just, as you say, get moving. I think.
Yeah.
So, do we want to move closer, and then once we're closer to the coast, we can think about plans of how we want to attack, or how?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, scope it out and see what's happening, and try and, I guess, use the information that we got from that guy last night to make sure we kind of know where everything is and get the lay of the land, and then kind of come up with a plan, I guess.
How does that sound?
It's a good plan, and there's not much time.
No. So I guess if we start travelling, we can discuss while we travel, I guess.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Describe. I just want to make sure that everybody feels part of the story and they can contribute. Anybody that has been a bit quiet tonight that wants to add anything or say anything or has a contribution, please. Yep. Jump in. This is a game of sharing the spotlight.
Severin would want to make sure that when we travel that Keros is in the middle, protected on all sides. Maybe we form like a tight group if we can. Just take our time getting there, not rushing and just using lots of perception to figure out if there's any invisible people on our tower.
Okay. Cool. Duly noted. Thank you. And I'll do some perception rolls for you guys just to see if who's around or what's happening. Thank you for that. Anybody else?
Keros would be very happy to be in the middle and be snuggled in. And maybe a chance to get to know people a bit better, but keen to get moving and chat on the way.
Okay. Anything for Jada or Askel or Mace or Demos?
Tanya would probably want to be going near the front, percepting, good perception, and just, I guess, generally just talking proudly.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
That's all just going into the group. Position though.
All right. Great. Demos. Anybody else?
Ray's just going to be sniffing a lot. He's going to get a Ningwin in disguise. He's going to get her to scope out stuff as well.
Okay.
If she spots anything, do a little cry.
Okay. What are your so are you going to cast the spell on her or what? What does that mean?
Yeah, I guess he would probably cast the spell to talk to her and just give her the same instructions he's given previously, just to let the party know if she spots people ahead or close to it, coming close to us or anything.
Mm-hmm.
The two legs.
Yep.
If she spots any two legs, just to let us know.
Okay. Great. Okay. Could you give me a roll, please, for Ningwin?
Yep. He's wringing his hands and he's hopping on feet and making lots of noise. Not too much noise. 17.
17. Lovely. Thank you. This is also a nature spell. I won't take it into chat, but basically her message is, I fly, I look, I tell.
Yep.
And with that,
beautiful.
Your bird is off into the air, soaring amongst the rain and the clouds and all the rest. You travel. I think what I'd like, please, is does anybody here have either navigation or tracking would probably be their next best skill, something like that, please. Or direction sense, or something direction-y, please.
Nave's got direction sense.
Okay.
And
Geography? Sorry. I just want to use my geography skill. I don't know why I've got it. Sorry.
You
Pete,
like
for interrupting.
you like maps? Yes.
I'm trying to find out. Give me 2 secs.
actually, we'll put numbers on it. Leif's got 26 for direction sense, and Mithan's got 57 for tracking.
Okay.
And
Ray's got 72 for tracking.
woo!
Oh,
great.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, why can I find out?
Anybody else kind of outdoorsy?
Yeah,
Reading a
probably, but I can't figure it out.
Oh, okay. In the interest of moving things on,
Yeah, move on.
Gray, you want to give us a roll?
Yeah.
Mast, of course.
53.
53. Cool. This could be really good, really bad, or it could just be close to a 53. Really. Let's have a look. 53, and what's his bonus? Oh.
His bonus
Yep.
is 72.
72.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna. This is the closest thing to kind of navigation that I think people have. Is there? Let me just check something. So, yeah, navigation is really what I'm after. So I'd give you your partial skill on this, Gray. And yep, you set off. You think you make pretty good time. You crest. You go down the valley in between the hill that you're on and then the next big hill. It's a pretty miserable trip. I mean, you're all stalking, you're all hiding, you're trying to keep as discreet as possible, of course. Now I talked about it before. You got 3 times a description of how to get down to where this location is, and he repeated it back 3 times. And then, Nicholas, you repeated that 3 times to your companion. So I heard that you say that. I heard you go with that. So can you give me another roll, please, Gray?
Yep.
Quite an important one, so no pressure.
90.
90. I mean, it could be really amazing.
It's a good, important, no pressure roll.
Absolutely. And what was the bonus again? 80 something?
72. We can go with 80 if you want.
There you go. Okay, cool. Yeah, you make excellent time. And then, so you've walked, you set off at first light, and you made particularly good time in your first little bit, led on by Gray, following the directions that Nicholas has given him. And then one last roll, Gray, to bring us home or completely get us lost. Let's see.
Ooh. 43.
Ooh. Okay.
That's maths too, right?
Okay, so this time round, Gray, you do actually get a bit lost. And kind of early afternoon, you walk around and you find this stump which had been struck by lightning. And half an hour later, you take a gully and then you go up another gully and then you come down again. You thought you saw the sea and you're aiming towards the sea. But unfortunately, this time around, you come back to the same stump. And you know it's the same stump because Keros asked her to take a bit of a breather and pat the cat at the stump. And she got some kind of soot on her clothes. And it's quite a noticeable spot. You've gone in circles. Not so great. So you've kind of lost time. Could you give me another roll, please? So everybody kind of, when you get back to the stump, everybody kind of looks at Gray, but they don't really look at Gray. And there's the kind of the quiet kind of side eye of kind of, well, you did really well this morning, but what the fuck happened now? Yeah, nice job. No one says nice job, Gray, because you've actually done a good job this morning, but not great. Could you give me another roll, please?
Yeah, he got 30.
Okay.
He's feeling a bit stumped. You're welcome. That's surely some extra points.
For a bad dad joke, please mark down 100 XP, Gray. Definitely.
Excellent.
Definitely.
Done.
What was the roll, please?
30.
30. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, this time a bit more on track, and you guys are feeling a little bit more comfortable. Gray does lead you down off the big hill. You meander your way down a few, amongst these increasingly. What does the terrain look like? So much that. Let me show you. Increasingly scrubby, kind of that. Bit of that.
We're on the character screen again.
Sorry. Thanks, Pete. Thank you. Thank you. Just coming. Just coming. There you go. Thanks, Pete. So the terrain is looking a bit like that. You can see that, I think. Yes, you can.
Yep.
Yep. You can't see that. You can see kind of that. Where's my pine trees? Yeah, and every now and then there's a stand of pines that kind of looks something like this. Kind of quite scrappy and quite, not dense undergrowth or whatever. And yeah, getting closer, you probably haven't made the best of time. You did definitely spend quite a bit of time wandering around in circles there a bit. So kind of mid-afternoon, you come down and you definitely think things change. The sounds change, and you hear the following. You all hear it pretty close. The sounds of waves. Well, you will hear the sound of waves in the distance. The pounding rain. And you're definitely getting closer to the ocean. Those waves aren't quite what I was after, but they'll do for now. Wrong one. There we go. And you find yourself here, late, kind of mid to late afternoon. You think the shore's pretty close, and going on the description you were given, you caught glimpses of the ocean. You can just see it there. And going on the description that you were given, you were told that when you came down to about here, there was a large lump of rock here. And pretty much just beyond there, a little bit further down, is this hidden entrance to the path that goes down the cliff. The description you were given was that somewhere along here, maybe, you're not sure exactly where, but somewhere along here, down below the cliffs, is the entrance to the cave. And with that, the GM is going to head to the loo, and you guys can have a quick chat about what you want to do.
It's sort of like where we should have been a few days ago.
I know.
But oh well, we're here now.
That's a good bit lost.
I have to say, I really don't like, as Eskil said, the on them seem a bit dodgy. So if we fail the mission, I reckon.
Yeah, I guess with stealthy, invisibility, type thing.
For the whole group, or do you think reconnoitre first, or?
Well, I guess we could use something like the real stealthy ones that make them visible, like Kenya. You can go and flip a few blades for rib cages or something.
Yeah.
Take up the guard. Where was the invisible men on the hill? Was that near here, or?
So the invisible men were apparently at the top of the path, and they'll have reinforced them, so there'll be a good number at the top of the path, some invisible physical traps and magical traps.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that?
Apparently our power is going to be shut off in 10 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's plenty of warning. I mean,
Oh, what?
I totally forgot that was something that's happening. The whatever it is, people, Genesis or whatever, are doing some kind of thing. I'll see if I can connect to my phone.
Yikes.
Sorry, I totally forgot about that.
That's towards the team anyway, so it should be
Yeah.
that's great. That's what I think. It's like we could use the stealthy ones to be invisible and go forward. I guess it's only those magical traps that might be anything. On the sheriff and magical traps.
I'm not sure if others are hearing you a little bit hard to hear you, Anthony, or is it just me?
No,
It's a bit hard to hear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you just maybe just speak up a little bit, Anthony?
Oh yeah. Might be a bit far away from the Wi-Fi, so might be breaking up. Yeah.
Those are better waves that I was after. There you go.
Great waves.
Still pouring with rain, mid-afternoon. What do you do? Or do you need some time to chat?
I think we need some time to chat, but we can assume that we chatted as we were walking. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't want to waste our precious time. What's our impression of the impact of rain on visibility?
It's a really good question. And, very fortunately, the good book, Rolemaster, can give us the answer. 1 second.
Excellent question.
Cut both ways.
It cuts both ways, sure.
Yeah. Page 80.
Page 80, thanks, Pete. Oh, I love it when players help me out. Thank you. Invisibility. Rain or water rushing on or over the area of an invisibility spell will improve the chances of perceiving an invisible area through the heightened fringe effect of the rain passing through the radius limited. Modifications to any perception rolls shift in difficulty in the maneuver from 2 to 3 columns, depending on the amount of water and invisibility. So that would shift from either a hard maneuver to a medium maneuver, or a medium maneuver to an easy maneuver, or whatever, depending on the situation. So yes, definitely. If you imagine there's this kind of shimmering, if you can see the GM on camera doing weird things with his hands, there's kind of a shimmering effect. That's the effect of the rain hitting this shield around you, or this force field around you. You're still invisible, but the rain is hitting a barrier that shouldn't be there. Doesn't make you visible, but it makes you easier to spot where you are.
Can I just check the description of the top of the secret path? There were there were going to be invisible people, regular people, magical traps and physical traps, and more strengthened since our attack. Correct? According to our friend.
Yeah, that's what you think you heard, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so Anthony, we should sneak up and see if we can take those people at the top of the stairs up, was the thought.
Yeah. Maybe we use a couple of phantasms.
Yeah.
To lure them out.
What about our good friend the Whistling?
to go and check stuff out.
Yeah.
true.
Can you make the whistling invisible?
The whistling's not invisible, but it's pretty small, and it could probably find foliage to hide under, I assume, and perhaps the rain would help. GM, would that be a fair call?
The whistling's only about this big. Yes, it's pretty hard to see.
Yeah. So if it's hiding under tree limbs and sort of... So he has to be within 100 foot, so it can't go outside of his radius of 100 foot.
Okay.
So I think that's a limitation, because Nicholas hasn't got great at stalking and hiding.
Just to give you...
And his perception's not that great either, so he's not going to spot everything
So that
using the whistling.
that there is... Whoops, no. I think my map is a little bit off. From there to there... No? Did I not put a scale on here? I thought I did. Maybe I didn't. Okay, no, I need to adjust the scale. So if you guys are, that tall, 100 foot is, kind of down here-ish. So not
I think
that.
if we're within 100 foot of the top of the path, we're already spotted. We wanted to approach, so we weren't spotted by the people. Yeah.
Sure.
So if he was within 100 foot of the top of the path, I'm pretty sure that he will be able to be seen, would be my guess.
Yep.
So good plan, but he's not he's not one of our stealthy types.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah. Do we want to? Yeah. Do we send Neathanel and Tanya, Neathanel and or Tanya in to scope it out?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Slowly. Yeah.
Kenya, yep.
Yep.
And make her invisible, which would just help with that much more.
Definitely. What's her stalk hide?
1 minute. Is plus 134.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's better. Neathanel's 115. So yep, she's the one. I reckon do that. Yep. Just see if she can lay eyes on where things are and see if she can scope out where people are. Do you think?
Yeah, definitely. What else we got here?
I mean, other option is we just get Kuros to cold ball the whole area.
Oh yeah.
Happy
That'd be quite fun.
Subtlety. That's what we go for.
Yeah.
What about Eskel casting fog around us all, and would we just all move within that fog and they'll never see us coming?
True.
That could help.
Well,
it's hard to move in fog, and I'm not sure if we'll get the right direction. Sorry, based on our experience of fog, the hero's experience of fog last time, it was difficult to find direction in it. Would that be right, Jim?
Yep.
But I think that's a really good option if we get into dire straits, definitely.
Yeah.
Demos, Tarquin, Keros.
We could send
Jadon?
Mingling in as well,
True.
just to see if she spots people. Although if they're invisible, she's not going to spot them.
Oh,
But
she
at
might
least-
in the rain.
Oh,
yeah.
true.
If you describe the
least-
shimmery effect in the rain, maybe. Sorry, Anthony.
Oh, I think my power's got like another few minutes before it gets shut off. I might drop out
Okay.
for a little bit of time, and then might be able to pick up
Well,
again.
I'm wondering, guys, if this is a good place to call it for the night. What do we think? Or do
Yep.
we want to play on? I could play on for...
I think it'd be good to have an opportunity to throw ideas around actually during the week for those who are
Okay.
Yeah.
interested.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, I don't know who's interested in plotting and scheming, but just put a bit of a plan together.
Yep, I'm keen on scheming.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Oh, we could do.
We could do some scheming tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. There you go.
Excellent idea.
Tarquin, Demos, you still with us?
I'm still here. I'm keen to scheme tomorrow.
Giles, you still there? He's on mute.
It's on mute.
He might be on call, actually.
No, I'm still here. Yeah, I had a call, but I've sorted it.
Okay.
So I'll be here tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Well, do we say farewell for tonight, guys? Leave it there, and when Graham rejoins us on the 21st.
Tarquin's gone.
Oh, Tarquin's gone.
Oh well, Giles is gone.
Giles is gone. Okay. When Graham rejoins us on the 21st, game on.
Yep. Oh, is that next week?
Week after.
No.
Week after.
Week after.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Nice one.
We're looking forward to it.
All right, guys. Hope you had
Thank
fun.
you.
Oh,
Yeah,
Chris, I've left a little
Thank
note
you.
in your Discord chat. I can't leave your message in there, just so you know.
Oh, thank you. Who did? Giles did.
No, I did.
You did. Okay, thank you. I will check that out. Winners tonight. Askell, do we have a winner for Sophocles? Do we have a winner for Vader? Tarquin was winner for Vader, so we might have to come back to that.
I would probably say. I guess it would have to be Nicholas for the. Yeah, just. Agree. Yeah,
Pretty
like.
clever.
Thwarting all the GM's plans. Damn it!
Yeah.
You don't think of it as thwarting. We're advancement, aren't we? We've got.
Basically, got a full confession.
Yeah.
I'm worried that we didn't.
I was trying to think my way out of that, but no, well done. Okay, guys, we'll leave it. I hope you had fun. Hope you enjoyed it.
Well done, Nicholas.
Enjoy
Thank
catching up.
you.
Enjoy catching up tomorrow, guys, and speak to you on the 21st.
5:30 at Juniper. Awesome.
See you
Have
guys.
fun.
Bye.
Thank you.
guys.
Have
Bye.
fun.
See you guys. Bye. 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 Bye.
Bye.